Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Yes, this is another Subverse video, but honestly, I'm not making this video for the sole sake of ad revenue and views. I am making this video because it is, in some sense, an important dialogue we need to have. Yes, I know it's Subverse, silly space boobies game, but let's not beat around the bush here. As I've talked about in earlier videos, Subverse does have an important principled quality to it in terms of what it represents in the video game industry, but also hiding a bit of a darker nature when it comes to its subject matter. You see, what brought me to creating this video was a comment. Now, I'm no stranger to making an entire YouTube video outraged over a YouTube comment or YouTube comments. Some find that petty, and that's fine, you're allowed to. I personally believe that people should be held accountable for the things they say and write, but that's just me, I'm up for debate on that. Now, recently, on my latest Subverse video, the waifu tier list, I got a really fucked up comment. Something quite dark and disturbing. I'm not gonna show it here, as the individual who left it is deeply disturbed, doesn't need the attention right now. They need actual, legitimate, professional help, not a bunch of randos on the internet prodding at them. The gist of his comment, to oversimplify it, was that playing and liking and talking about, just associating yourself with Subverse or any games or art like it is immoral. That you are wrong and there's something wrong with you. I wanted to make this video in case there are any of you out there suffering under the burden of social anxiety, concerned as to whether or not people will think ill of you for buying, playing, liking, or talking about a video game like Subverse. I just want to let you know, and I know for many this is a no duh, but just in case, I want to let you know, you are not a bad person for liking porn. You are not a bad person for liking, enjoying, being interested in a porn game. You are doing nothing wrong. You're not hurting anyone. If we're being honest, yes, it's taboo. It's frowned upon. It's misunderstood by the general public and normies. But it's not a crime, not some outrageous sin, nothing to be punished over. We can perhaps debate about whether or not it's shameful, but all of these things are social constructs to begin with, and I don't want to overcomplicate things too much. What I'm trying to get at here, and I know I'm repeating myself, is you're not a bad person. You're not evil for having a curiosity in sex, for exploring sexuality, particularly through art. Yes, I know, Subverse is art, silly space boobies game, ha ha ha. But no, seriously, Subverse is art. Porn is art. Erotica is art. It's an exploration of our primal urges, our attractions, our affections, why we are the way we are, and the possibilities for change, growth, self-reflection. I've said this before in multiple videos, live streams, whether it's about the video game industry or life. Things are not as simple as good versus evil, black and white. And the exploration of sexuality through fiction, through storytelling, well, it provides us an avenue for discussion, debate, and asking tough questions to ourselves and others. You think my last Subverse video, the waifu tier list, was just for shits and giggles, but nah. It got you all debating about your sexual preferences and attractions, and asking even darker questions about fetishes and the morals behind those. Pornography, erotica, exploring your sexuality through art. Even if that art, in this case, happens to be a video game parody, it's just as legitimate. And in particular, with the comedic nature of Subverse, it brings up even more topics of debate and questions about humor, dark humor, and making jokes about more taboo topics. The concepts of openness, freedom, no boundaries, going so far and so deep as to the very pillars of the human existence. Stay with me now, I know this is a Subverse video and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? But this is for your own good, stay a while and listen. We try to simplify things, make things easier to consume. We streamline, it's in our nature. And while there is nothing wrong with convenience, everything in moderation. You can't streamline sex and morals and exotic fetishes, the human experience, down to basic bitch mentality. Oh, this porn video game embraces sex so nonchalantly. Oh, and you're interested in it? There must be something wrong with you. You must be a deviant. You must be compelled to enact evil on others. No, stop. Full stop. If someone engages you with this attitude, with these sentiments, know that they are in the wrong. Being curious about sex isn't evil. We, as a species, exist in this reality because we have sex. So trying to cast it under a negative light, it's not beneficial. It doesn't help anybody. If anything, it's the exact opposite. It's detrimental. You shouldn't be afraid to explore your sexuality or have harmless, adult, raunchy fun. As long as you aren't hurting anyone else, that is the key factor here. As long as you are not harming another human being, as long as there is consent. Consent between all involved parties. Then there is no shame to be had. There is no need for the hostility towards those who participate in erotica. And if your immediate reaction is just to label the other side evil, well, you've lost the debate. But did you even have the courage to participate in debate to begin with? Now, to make this about Subverse again, because I know things are getting a bit too hot and heavy in here, the actual story and plot of the game revolves around resistance fighters taking a stand against a galactic empire that limits not only free speech, but sexual freedom as well. While Subverse is without a doubt a comedy, some of the most important and darkest questions are asked and explored through comedy. When we are finally able to play the game and get it in our hands, who knows, it may actually have us questioning our morals and morals in general. All of this from a silly Space Boobies game? But no, it's deeper than that, it's bigger than that. This is about freedom of speech, freedom of expression, the freedom to explore and embrace our sexualities, the freedom to explore and discover life. So if someone accuses you of being immoral or a bad person for liking, playing, being interested in Subverse or pornography or erotica in general, do not take their accusations to heart, do not take them into consideration. It's a closed-minded view of the world and of you. Do not feel shame or depression or anxiety or guilt. Sex is part of the human condition. It's nothing to be ashamed of. However, of course, just to cover all my bases, everything in moderation, and having respect for yourself and others is only beneficial, particularly mentally. And of course, again, covering bases here, it goes without saying that there are certain fetishes and kinks that cross lines and are unjustifiable. Make no mistake, there are moral borders. Anything that hurts others and isn't without their consent is at the right fucking top. Now, I believe, of course, this is up for debate, but for me personally, sex is about giving pleasure, not taking pleasure. Sex is about being selfless, not selfish. Now I have just one more base to cover. There's this lovely young lady, goes by the username of Pixie Willow. You may have seen her in my last Subverse video, made a cameo appearance. She did a massive favor for me recently, and I owe her a great debt of gratitude. So if you would all be so kind as to follow her on Twitter, subscribe to her on YouTube, and maybe even oh so generously donate to her on Patreon, it would mean the world to me. Anyways everyone, that has been a video. I hope I was able to help anyone in distress. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you're still all excited for Subverse. You keep debating about those waifus, will ya? Stay safe out there everyone. I'll see you later.